Luqman, Ayah 12. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the ever merciful. We gave wisdom to Luqman so that he may be grateful to Allah. The one who pays thanks does so for his own good, and the one who denies his favors should know that Allah is certainly free of all wants, worthy of all praise. When Luqman, while advising his son, said to him, "O my son, do not ever commit shirk, associating anyone else with Allah. Surely committing shirk is the worst iniquity. We have enjoined man concerning his parents. His mother carried him in her womb while suffering weakness upon weakness, and then weans him in 2 years. That's why we commanded him, give thanks to me and to your parents, and keep in mind that to me is your final goal. If they argue with you to commit shirk of which you have no knowledge, then do not obey them. However, you should still treat them kindly in this world, but follow the way of that individual who has turned to me. After all, to me is your return. Then I will inform you about the reality of all that you have done." Luqman further said, "O my son, Allah will bring all things to light, be they as small as a grain of mustard seed, be they hidden inside a rock or high above in the heavens, or deep down in the earth. Allah is well aware of all things to their finest details. O my son, establish salah, enjoin good, and forbid evil. Endure with patience whatever befalls you. Surely this shows your determination in conducting the affairs. Do not speak to the people with your face turned away with pride, nor walk proudly on earth. For Allah does not love any self-conceited boaster. Be moderate in your pace, and lower your voice, for the harshest of voices is the braying of a donkey. Do you not see that Allah has subjected to your benefit all that is in the heavens and in the earth, and has lavished on you His evident and hidden favors? Yet there are some people who still argue about Allah without knowledge, without guidance, or an enlightening book. When they are asked to follow what Allah has revealed, they reply, 'Nay, we shall follow the ways upon which we found our forefathers.' What? Will they still follow them even though Shaitan invites them to the punishment of the blazing fire? He who surrenders himself to Allah and leads a righteous life has indeed grasped the most trustworthy handhold, as the ultimate disposal of affairs rests with Allah. As for he who disbelieves, let not his disbelief grieve you. To us is their return, and we shall inform them the reality of their deeds. Surely Allah knows the secrets of the breast. We let them enjoy for a while this life. Then in the hereafter, we shall drive them to an unrelenting punishment. If you ask them, who has created the heavens and the earth? They will certainly say, Allah. Say, praise be to Allah. But most of them do not use their common sense to understand. To Allah belongs all that is in the heaven and the earth. Surely Allah is the one who is free of all wants, worthy of all praise. If all the trees on earth were pens, and the oceans were ink, replenished by 7 more oceans, the writing of Allah's words, His wonderful signs and creations, would not be exhausted. Surely Allah is mighty, wise. Neither your creation nor your resurrection is anything but as simple as the creation and resurrection of a single soul. Surely Allah is all hearing, all seeing. Do you not see that Allah causes the night to pass into the day and the day into the night? That He has subjected the sun and the moon to follow His law, each pursuing its course for an appointed term? And that Allah is well aware of all your actions. This is because Allah is the only reality, and because all those whom the people invoke besides Him are false. And because Allah is the one who is the Most High, the Great. Do you not see how the ships sail through the ocean by the grace of Allah, so that He may show you some of His signs. Surely there are signs in this for every patient, thankful person. When any giant wave covers them like a canopy, they pray to Allah with all devotion, making their faith pure for Him. But when He delivers them safely to land, some of them falter between belief and unbelief. None reject our revelations except the treacherous and the ungrateful. O mankind, have fear of your Rabb, and fear that day when no father shall avail his son, nor a son his father. Surely the promise of Allah is true. Let not the life of this world deceive you, nor let the deceiver shaitan deceive you concerning Allah. Surely Allah alone has the knowledge of the hour. He is the one who sends down the rain, and He knows what is in the wombs. No one knows what he will earn the next day, and no one knows in what land he will die. Surely Allah knows all this and is aware of everything. Surah Sajda, Ayah 1. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the ever merciful. Alif Lam Mim. This book, the Quran, in which there is no doubt, is revealed by the Rabb of the worlds. Do the people say He, Muhammad, has forged it? Nay, it is the truth from your Rabb, so that you may warn a people to whom no warner has come before you, so that they may receive guidance. It is Allah who has created the heavens, the earth, and all that is in between them in 6 yawm, days or stages. Then established Himself on the throne in a manner that suits His majesty. You have no guardian or intercessor besides Him. Will you not then take heed? He plans all affairs from the heavens to the earth, that each affair ascends to Him, takes place in a time period which to your calculations is 1,000 years. Such is He, the knower of all the hidden and the open, the Almighty, the Merciful. It is He who has given the best form to everything that He has created. He originated the creation of man from clay, then automated the creation of his progeny by an extract of a despicable water. Then He fashioned him in due proportion and breathed into him of His Spirit. He gave you ears, eyes, and heart, yet you are seldom thankful. They say, what? Once we are lost in the earth, shall we be created afresh? Nay, they deny the fact that they will ever meet their Rabb. Say, the angel of death, Israel, who is assigned for you, will carry off your souls and bring you back to your Rabb. If only you could visualize when the criminals will hang their heads before their Rabb, saying, Our Rabb, we have seen and we have heard. Please send us back to the world and we will do good deeds. We are now convinced. In response to that, it will be said, had we so willed, we could have given every soul its guidance. But my word which I had said has been fulfilled, that I shall fill hell with jinns and men altogether. Now taste the reward for your forgetting the meeting of this day. We too have forgotten you now. Taste the everlasting punishment in consequence of your misdeeds. Only those people believe in our revelations who, when they are reminded of them, prostrate themselves in adoration and celebrate the praises of their Rabb, and are not puffed up with pride, who forsake their beds and invoke their Rabb with fear and hope, and they spend in charity out of the sustenance which we have given them. No one knows what the delights of the eye have been kept hidden for them as a reward for their good deeds. Can he who is a believer be like the one who is a transgressor? Of course they are not alike. As for those who believe and do good deeds, they shall be awarded the gardens of paradise as an entertainment for their good deeds. But those who transgress shall be cast into the fire. Whenever they try to escape from it, they shall be pushed back into it. And it will be said to them, taste the punishment of the fire which you used to deny. We shall certainly make them taste the lighter torment in this life, before the greater punishment of the hereafter. so that they may return to the right way. Who could be more unjust than the one who is reminded of the revelations of his Rabb, and he turns away from them? Surely we shall take vengeance on such criminals. Surah As-Sajda, Ayah 22. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Surah As-Sajda, Ayah 23. We gave the book to Musa, so be not in doubt for receiving this book which meets the same criteria. And we made it a guide for the children of Israel. When they showed patience, we appointed from among them leaders giving guidance under our command, so long as they continued to have faith in our revelations. Surely your Rabb will decide between them on the day of resurrection, concerning those matters wherein they differ among themselves. Do they not learn a lesson from the historical events of many generations we have destroyed before them, in whose dwelling places they move about? Surely there are signs in this. Do they not listen? Do they not see how we drive the rain to the parched lands, and therefrom bring forth crops of which they and their cattle eat? Have they no vision? Still they say, when will this judgment take place, if you are telling the truth? Tell them, on the day of judgment, it will be of no benefit to the unbelievers, even if they believe, since at that time they will not be granted a respite. Therefore pay no heed to them, and wait as they are waiting. Surah Al-Ahzab, Ayah 1. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the ever merciful. O Prophet, fear Allah and do not obey the unbelievers and the hypocrites. Certainly Allah is all aware, all wise. Follow that which is revealed to you from your Rabb, for Allah is well aware of what you do. Put your trust in Allah, for Allah is your all-sufficient protector. Allah has not put two hearts in a person's body, nor does He regard your wives whom you divorced through zihar, divorcing a wife saying, from now on you are as my mother, depriving her conjugal rights, yet keeping her like a slave, and not letting her marry anyone else, as your mothers. Nor does He regard your adopted sons as your sons. These are mere words which you utter with your mouths, but Allah declares the truth and guides you to the right way. Call your adopted sons by their fathers' names. That is more just in the sight of Allah. And if you don't know who their fathers are, then call them your brothers in faith and your friends. There is no blame on you for an unintentional mistake, but you will be held responsible for what you do with the intention of your hearts. Allah is forgiving, merciful. The Prophet is closer to the believers than their own selves, and his wives are as their mothers. Blood relatives have a greater claim on one another regarding inheritance than the other believers and the Muhajirin, the early Muslims who migrated from Makkah to Medina, in the Book of Allah. Although you are permitted to some good through leaving bequests for your friends. This has been written in the Book of Allah. O Muhammad, remember the covenant which we took from all the prophets, from you, as well as from Nuh, Ibrahim, Musa, and Isa, son of Maryam. We took that solemn covenant from all of them, so that He may question the truthful concerning the truth that they were entrusted with. As for the unbelievers, He has prepared a painful punishment. O believers, remember the favor of Allah which He bestowed on you when you were attacked by our enemy's army during the Battle of the Trench, and we unleashed against them violent winds and invisible forces. Allah saw all that you were doing when they, the enemy, came upon you from above and from below, when your eyes were petrified due to fear and your hearts leaped up to your throats, and you began to entertain all sorts of doubts about Allah. There the believers were put to test, and were shaken with tremendous shaking. Remember when the hypocrites and those in whose hearts there was a disease were openly saying, Allah and His Rasul promised us nothing but delusion. And a party of them said, O people of Yathrib, you cannot stand the attack much longer. Go back to your city. And yet another party of them sought leave of the Prophet, saying, in fact, our houses are insecure, whereas they were not insecure. They intended nothing but to run away from the battlefront. Had the city been entered from all sides, and had they been incited to sedition, they would have had little hesitation to become partners in it, even though they had made a covenant with Allah not to show their backs. And the covenant with Allah must surely be answered for. Tell them, running away will not do you any good. And if you are running away from death or being killed, you would enjoy this life only for a little while. Ask them, who can protect you from Allah if He intends to harm you? Or who can prevent Him if He intends to show you mercy? They will find none besides Allah to protect or help them. Allah is well aware of those among you who hold others back, and those who say to their brethren, join us, and seldom take part in the fighting themselves. They are ever reluctant to assist you. Whenever they are in danger, they look towards you with their eyes rolling as if they were at the point of death. But when they are out of danger, they will come to greet you with their sharp tongues in greed for gain. Such people have no faith. Allah has made all their deeds null and void, and this is easy for Allah. They thought that the Confederates would never withdraw. Indeed, if the Confederates should come again, they would wish to be among the Bedouins and seek news about you from a safe distance. And if they happened to be with you, they would take but a little part in the fighting. You have indeed in the life of Rasulullah the best model for him whose hope is in Allah and the day of the hereafter, and who engages himself much in the remembrance of Allah. When the true believers saw the Confederate forces, they said, this is what Allah and His Rasul had promised us. Allah and His Rasul were absolutely true. This increased them all the more in their faith and their zeal in obedience. Among the believers there are men who have been true to their covenant with Allah. Of them some have completed their vow through sacrificing their lives, and some others are waiting for it, and have not changed their determination in the least. All this happens so that Allah may reward the truthful for their truth and punish the hypocrites, or accept their repentance if He wills. For Allah is forgiving, merciful. Allah turned back the unbelievers. They retreated in their rage without gaining any advantage, and Allah was sufficient to fight on behalf of the believers. For Allah is all-powerful, almighty. And brought down from their fortresses those people of the book, the Jews of Bani Qurayza, who supported the invaders and cast terror into their hearts. As a result, some of them you slew, and some of them you took as prisoners. Thus He made you heirs of the lands, their houses and their goods, and also set the land Khaybar, on which you had never set your foot before. Truly Allah has power over all things. O Prophet, say to your wives, if you desire the life of this world and its glitter, then come, I shall give you of these and let you go in an honorable way. But if you seek Allah and His Rasul and the home of the hereafter, then you should rest assured that Allah has prepared a great reward for those of you who are good. O wives of the Prophet, if any of you commits an open indecency, her punishment will be increased to double, and this is easy for Allah. Surah Al-Ahzab, Ayah 30.